Hey everyone, it's Anne Marie. Welcome to my show. I was going to make a video today, post a video all about health, but I am going to I may just post it tomorrow. I will have a streaming schedule every Monday and Wednesday, and probably going to do Fridays for Ask Me Anything. So if you have questions, comment below and I'll be answering those on Fridays. But I haven't set it up yet to do streaming, so it's not happening yet. So I'm just posting these whenever. And I have more to say. So I had to make another video to share some more things about some of the TikToks that I've been making to get into a little more detail. And then I'll post my health video tomorrow. How about that? So if you're wanting more information about health, check back this channel tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe. And let's go from here. All right. So I wanted to share a few things today. And let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to talk about let me see how I can say this. Sorry, be patient with me because I have to be able to be very careful about how I speak. And so I do talk a little slower just because I'm having to be so careful about how I speak. I want to talk a little bit about the psychopathic narcissists who they run the whole world, right? We know that now. It was David Wilcock who talked about this. I'll go into a little more detail about it, but I want to talk a little bit about the stress that people are going through, the trauma, trauma, but it's trauma-based mind control. But it's trauma that's happening. And that's why so many people are fighting right now, even in their families. So I want to talk a little bit about that and how that's happening. Really, our government is the psychopathic narcissists that have been controlling us. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, so I'll get into that a little bit and how it may be impacting you personally. I know it's impacting me, and I'm sure it's happening to most of you, I would say. Really, who is it not happening to? It's happening to all of us. Okay. But anyway, some people are in denial and some people are bonding with their abuser, their narcissist. And that's what happens. It's called Stockholm syndrome. And that's why so many people are fighting. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about a TikTok that I made the other day about the stars on the flag at the rally. There were no stars on the flag. So I want to talk about that and show you guys. And that will lead me into some really very interesting messages that we've gotten about the coded messages, right? And we're going to talk about well, I'll just leave it at that, but it's very interesting. So keep watching. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the narcissist stuff first, just to get it off my chest, and then we'll move on to this really interesting stuff about the flag. Also, a little bit more about the masks. I did a video yesterday. You can go back and watch it. I'll put the link below to my last video. Was all about masks. I called it Masquerade, the Masquerade. And I have one more short clip to show you that I forgot to put into that video. And I want you to see it because it's really amazing. All right. So yeah, before I share my screen, let me just talk. And I don't have my lights set up or anything. I'm sitting downstairs. So whatever, it is what it is. I just want to be able to get videos out to you guys. So I had an experience with a family member. I won't name any names, where this particular family member, and I've seen it with different people in my life and different family members, different friends. You may have experienced this too. If you guys have been watching, there's a really good YouTube channel. I can't remember her name, but she talks a lot about narcissism. And a lot of people are talking about that lately, that they have narcissists in their life. So I'll put her channel. I don't remember her name. Ramadi, is it? Dr. Ramani? I'll put her channel below. Needless to say, there are a lot of us who are dealing with narcissists in our life. I'm making a note. And I believe this is caused by narcissistic abuse. We're suffering from being abused by narcissists. And so we are um, reacting in different ways. People react different ways to narcissism. And I haven't done a deep dive on this. I know I've watched a number of videos about it, and I've, you know, studied it for a while, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, anything like that. But the thing is, when people are traumatized, they react in different ways. And we are all, as I said, we are all traumatized right now. That's just a fact. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter. I mean, not just in the US, all over the world, we're being traumatized and have been for years, for not just the last 2 years, 2.5 years. It's been going on for decades, right? Um, some of us more than others. Some of us have been, I won't use the C word, but right, we're not able to talk, to write. We're right. I don't want to use the word, but you know what I'm saying. Many of us have had our businesses attacked. We've had our livelihoods taken away. We've been through a lot. And so there are going to be people in your life who are going to trauma bond, this kind of Stockholm syndrome where they bond with the abuser, and they're going to blame you. And I finally figured this out. I actually had to record a family member and the way that this family member was speaking to me. And it was because I just can't wrap my mind around it. And anyway, I won't get into that too much because I don't want anybody to get mad at me, which they do. But those of us who have chosen to speak out have been very persecuted, and it will continue, not for too much longer. Though, I mean, I know you guys are watching different people saying it's going to end soon. The persecution that we encountered. If you go and watch my Rumble video, the link is below to They Fall and Fall. And of course, I just noticed I may have made an error in that video, so I'm wish I could correct it. I'll make a note on it. I had the wrong date for the Michael, Saint Michael. But whatever. We're doing the best we can, right? We're doing the best we can just to be able to put content out there. We are so abused and traumatized that we can't even speak. Have you guys noticed that? That's how you feel? I'm paralyzed. So there's a lot of things that I'm trying to do in my life to get done, and I can't do it. And so I just want to validate those of you who are feeling traumatized, who are having arguments with family members or friends, who are have been silenced, have been beaten down, whatever it is you're experiencing. I've been starting to talk to friends locally here, starting to make friends locally, some of the local moms and stuff. And it is so good because we're able to share how we're feeling. So if you have people in your life you can do that with, do it more. If you can write about it, if you can make videos, whatever it is you need to do to get it out. I had watched Roseanne Barr say this once, that really when you're suffering from post-traumatic stress, the best thing you can do is get it out. So write it, talk it out, get it out. Okay. That's why this is actually therapeutic for me, to be able to make videos, to be able to write blog posts, to be able to get it out. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue. Okay. So I wanted to share that because I want you to think about, it was David Wilcock, and I will try to find the video. I'll make a note here. David Wilcock said that we are being controlled by psychopathic narcissists, narcissistic psychopaths, or whatever he said. I'll find that. And I'll try to share that link below so you can go watch it, because it's very well said. If you can acknowledge that they are psychopathic narcissists, and they are, it's clear. I mean, look at how they've treated us. Look what they've done. Look at the weapons they used against us. Look at how many people lost their jobs, lost their businesses, lost their livelihoods. I could go on and on. And I'm not talking about the actual thing that you wear. I'm talking about the first guarantee, the First Amendment, right? It is a right, and it's been taken away. So I don't want to use the C word, but that's what it is. It's a stifling. When that happens, the way that I have to talk right now, it's ridiculous. Just for me to be able to put this on fluff tube. We because we get our voices taken away. And when that happens, it's very traumatizing. So I want you just to acknowledge it. And I want you to do what you can to write it down, to talk it out, to just keep expressing yourself. Don't let them shut you up. Don't let them discourage you. Don't let them tell you that you're crazy. You're not crazy. They're gaslighting you. They're gaslighting you. And there are people in your life who have bonded with the abuser. And so that's what they're doing to you. They're trying to gaslight you and tell you that you're crazy when no, you're not crazy. You're not crazy for speaking out. You're not crazy for questioning any of this. That is part of the abuse cycle. So if there are people in your life who have bonded with the abuser, what I am doing is setting boundaries with those people. I'm saying verbal abuse is not okay. It's not okay to verbally abuse people. It's not okay to gaslight. Okay. And I'm setting physical boundaries. I'm setting boundaries of what's okay to express and what's not okay to express. So I just want to share that with you guys. If you are going through any of this, please. There's a lot of people having a lot of problems right now, emotional problems, and there's a lot of fighting, and I've seen it. There's divorces, there's suicides, there's a lot happening. If you want to try to feel better, you've got to communicate, and you've got to find people you trust that you can talk to, and just talk to them. Okay, just be there for each other. Let me share the bee story real quick, and then we're going to get into this really good. Oh my gosh, it's so good about one more video about the mask, and then this whole rabbit hole of the flag. I have to show you this. It's really cool. So, and I'm just, as I'm talking, I'm thinking, can I share this other thing? I don't know if I can. So let me share the bee story real quick, because this really, to get through trauma, I think this is going to help you. Help your friends. If you're feeling better, help your friends. If you're feeling better, help your friends. If your friends need help, if you need help, go to your friends and get help. Reach out to each other, okay? Because trying to find this story. Hold on. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to read this. Be there for your friends and reach out to your friends if you need help. It's not wrong to need help right now. It's not wrong. And it's not wrong if somebody is attacking you, if somebody is belittling you, calling you crazy, whatever, anything like that. It's not wrong to set boundaries with them and limit contact. Limit contact. Okay? The other thing I do on social media, anybody who's abusive, rude, the sleepers, I just block them immediately if they say anything that I don't like for any reason. I don't have to give them a reason. Okay. What is that saying when you go to like a bar or a restaurant? It says we refuse the right to serve, to refuse service. We have the right to refuse service. I can't even talk. Yeah, you have the right to tell anyone in your life you don't want to communicate with them, or that you're going to limit contact, or that you're going to limit if they're abusive, if they are, and then they can't recognize that they're being abusive, which is common. There's a lot of angry people out there, and they're taking it out on some of us who have been telling the truth this whole time. It's not wrong for you to set a limit, and it's not wrong for you to need to talk to people that you can trust. Okay. It doesn't have to be a therapist. People can't afford it right now. You can talk to friends. You can create a little group of friends that you trust and that you talk to. So anyway, I just want to encourage you all. Before I share the story, one more thing. So I'm going to say it again. Please because I didn't say this to start. I want to reiterate, please, if you have questions, ask me below, or you can email me at AnnMarie@AnnMarieMichaels.com. That's my blog, links below. And you can email me and ask questions if you have private questions you want me to answer on Fridays. The other thing is too, I didn't mention this, but the links below are to my shop. I'll have my donate link so you can donate to me. If you guys buy products that I am promoting, it helps me keep going. I am really trying to keep going. I am on the very last dregs of my bank accounts and my business bank account, my personal business bank. There's no money in there. So I'm trying to keep going. I know it's not much longer. So if there's ways that you can donate, you can also become a premium $3 a month member of my blog. Just click the link and subscribe and sign up for a premium membership. I'm going to have more stuff. Like I keep saying, I'm going to have more stuff to show you about health products, and I'll be posting that video tomorrow. All right, let me share this, this brief story with you about the bees. And this story is really going to help, I think, help you not only help your friends who are going through a tough time right now, but also ask for help. Ask for help. Don't just stay silent. Here's the story. My dad, this is somebody else posted this, somebody else wrote this, and it was shared by Dr. Christiane Northrup, and then I shared it onto my Facebook and my Telegram. My dad has bees. Today I went to his house and he showed me all of the honey he had gotten from the hives. He took the lid off of a 5-gallon bucket full of honey, and on top of the honey, there were 3 little bees struggling. They were covered in sticky honey and drowning. I asked him if we could help them, and he said he was sure they wouldn't survive. I just want to interject. That's how a lot of us feel right now, right? We're just like drowning and don't feel like there's hope, but there is. Just listen to the rest of the story. Casualties of honey collection, I suppose. I asked him again if we could at least get them out and kill them quickly. After all, he was the one who taught me to put a suffering animal or bug out of its misery. He finally conceded and scooped the bees out of the bucket. He put them in an empty yogurt container and put the plastic container outside. Because he had disrupted the hive with the earlier honey collection, there were bees flying all over outside. We put the 3 little bees in the container on a bench and left them to their fate. My dad called me out a little while later to show me what was happening. These 3 little bees were surrounded by all of their sisters. All of the bees are females, and they were cleaning the sticky, nearly dead bees, helping them to get all of the honey off of their bodies. We came back a short time later, and there was only 1 little bee left in the container. She was still being tended to by her sisters. When it came time for me to leave, we checked one last time, and all 3 of the bees had been cleaned off enough to fly away, and the container was empty. Those 3 little bees lived because they were surrounded by family and friends who would not give up on them. Family and friends who refused to let them drown in their own stickiness and resolved to help the last little bee until the last little bee could be set free. Bee sisters, bee peers, bee teammates. We could all learn a thing or two from these bees. Be kind always. Okay. There's someone around you that needs help. Help them. Reach out. Invite them for lunch. Go out and see people. It was hard, the first year and a half, 2 years. It was still hard. People, even though we could leave our homes, people weren't leaving. They were scared. But it's not that way anymore. People are getting out, and people will get together and they will talk. And when you do that, so I went out with some of the moms from my kids' school, and it was fabulous. We did it twice now, 2 different parties where we got together and just had the kids in the pool, and we all just talked, and there was about 5 or 6 of us, and we were all saying the same thing, needing to talk about all this stuff, needing to process this, and the people who are getting sick and the people that are dying, and sorry, let me turn this off. The people who in our lives, the things that we've questioned, the things I can't talk about on here. the things I can't talk about on here. That's what we were talking about. And it was so good to know that we weren't alone. And we all said that, and we all hugged, and it was great. We've done that twice now. So please reach out to people. They're probably feeling similar to you. And the people that are gaslighting you in your life, the people who have trauma bonded with their abusers, the psychopathic narcissists or narcissistic psychopaths, whatever you want to call them. I'll try again. I'll link to that David Wilcock video below. Go watch it. It's really good. They've bonded with them. That's why they're still keeping up with the Joneses and, blaming you for questioning anything, blaming you for the way you've been handling the trauma, making it all about you. Anyone in your life who's doing that has bonded with the abuser. Because if you're not speaking out against the abusers right now, you only have so many choices when you're under attack, when you're being attacked by narcissistic or psychopathic narcissists, whatever they're called. You only have so many choices for how you're going to respond. And when you're pushed up against a wall, like we have been, how are you going to respond? You're going to bond with them and blame someone else? Or are you going to continue to focus on, hey, this is not okay. What you're doing is not okay. So anyway, let's be there for each other, like those bees, however we can. So I hope this helps someone. And now we're going to move on to, because I thank you for letting me speak about that. I really needed to say it. I didn't say as much as I need to say, but I will continue to write. I'll write in my journal. I'm working on a book. I'm actually working on a health book, which is called Metals, Microbes, and Mindset. That's the first book that I'm going to get done. And then I'm working on another book called Eden Restored, which is about the last chapter of Revelation. And it's chapter 22. What year is it? 22. I love that. It's all about where we're headed and also living through this and what we've been through. So that book will be coming out. Again, if you want to read that book, I have excerpts of that book that I'm going to be posting. And if you sign up as a premium member, which is $3 a month, you'll get that. Also, it just supports me. It just supports me and keeps me going. So thank you for anyone who have been supporting me through buying things. I really appreciate it. We are being there for each other. And if you get benefit, well, maybe just buy some shampoo from me on my shop link below, or buy some, like I said, I have not asked. Sometimes people call us patriots, P-A-Y, patriots, right? But I haven't asked for this whole entire time, and I've not stopped talking about the truth to my own detriment. So that's why I'm bringing it up now. I have to remember to bring it up. I have to force myself to bring it up because it's not something that I think about. It's not, I've made a living as a blogger for 15 years. I never had to ask people to help me before because, I had an audience. But when you get censored the way that I have, sorry, I said the C word. You, it's just really hard. It's just really hard to keep going. So I appreciate anything anyone does to help. All right, let's move on. Let me share my screen. All right. The first thing we're going to talk about is I'll do the mask first, and then I'll do the flag, because the flag is really cool. So let's start here. I did this video. If you watched yesterday, you can watch more. I won't repeat everything I said yesterday. You can go back and watch it, but it was this video. I mean, you can see it. You may not be able to see it in this video that you're watching now, but if you go back and watch the original footage, put it on a big screen TV. Look at what you see there. Look at the line around it. It's right about an inch above her necklace. You can see it. There looks, and people said, oh, that's a thyroid scar. That's not a thyroid scar, because you can see how it doesn't set on the neck, and it goes up like this, goes like this. Well, I know you can't see me because I'm so tiny and I don't know how to make this box bigger. I figured it out at one point, but I don't know how to make my box bigger, but you can see the line going around. Anyway, go watch it yourself. So I have been talking about these masks for many, many months, over a year now. And there's also CGI that goes on. So that's in the video. I'll post the link below. It's called The Masquerade. Now, here is the video that I forgot to put on my video yesterday, which is fine. It was probably long enough, but let's go watch this one. This is a video from Vince Vaughn and Mel Gibson, which, by the way, these two are good friends, and it's really interesting because Mel Gibson, they're also friends with Jim Caviezel, which I put a video up about Jim Caviezel. I have to keep taking you back to my other YouTube channel because all my videos are there. You can go back and watch them. This video here, some encouraging things. It was the last video I made over a year ago because they are just shadow banning me. Look at all these views: 500 views, 255 views, 519 views. Like, nobody sees these videos because I'm so shadow banned. Anyway, sorry, I'm not supposed to use that word, I guess. Anyway, this video, I talk about Jim Caviezel. I don't know if I can find it in here. If you go watch this, I don't know where it is. Anyway, go watch this, and it has a clip with Jim Caviezel in there. But you're not going to get. And Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel and Vince Vaughn are all Catholic. Well, yes, they're all Catholic. I had a friend who told me she didn't think that Vince Vaughn was Catholic, but I know his kids go to a Catholic school, and I think he probably, if he is a Catholic, he's going to Mel's church. Mel has a church in LA, which is a Catholic church, but it's not part of the official Roman Catholic, which I am Catholic also, if you guys don't know that. I was raised Catholic, left the church, was an atheist and an agnostic for many years, and then came back to the Catholic. I came back to Christianity in 2017, and then came back to the Catholic Church in 2018. So I'm going to finish my sacraments and do all the stuff that I have to do, but I've been going to Catholic Mass. So I'll make more videos on that in the future. I know people have a lot of opinions about it, but I have a lot of reasons for why I do what I do. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I just started watching Apocalypto. Apocalypto is the movie by Mel Gibson, and it totally ties in. Apocalypto. It's hard to spell. Apocalypse means revelation. It means the same thing. The unveiling, right? They're becoming, finding out the truth. So that's the movie. We just started watching that the other night. I'm going to finish watching, but it's all about the kind of stuff that was going on in the Mayans, which was sacrifice of children, which of course we know how that ties into everything now. Very interesting, and very interesting how this all connects to Catholicism. So I'll make a future video about that. Anyway, these guys know some things. So let's talk. So I wanted to show you this quick clip of him talking about the masks. This is less than 2 minutes. And they're sharing a funny Halloween story about masks. So with this in mind, watch this.
On Halloween came around, we thought, well, let's go out for Halloween. So I bought some kind of goofy masks and some gold chains. There was no cohesiveness with the stuff that we were wearing. But Mel had this exceptional mask that was done by a professional. It looked like a real person, maybe Nick Nolte, but it looked like a real person.
You can't tell this close. You can't
tell. I mean, it looks like it doesn't look like a mask. It looks like Nick Nolte is in the room with you.
It looks like a pissed off lumberjack.
Did the paparazzi pick up on this?
Well, no, I think that's what he would do. He could wear that, and they would know where he was. I said, I think that's what you could do. You could walk out of a hotel, and people would say maybe Nick Nolte's walking in a hotel, but they wouldn't know it was you. But we went out on Halloween, and so we went out to like restaurants and stuff, and Mel was there with this mask that looks like a real human being, right? And we're kind of in these ghoul masks, whatever, but he has this on, and he'd be talking to somebody, they'd be having a conversation, and all of a sudden, but it didn't look like he had a mask on. It just looked like this was a real person. So then he would grab at his neck, and he would rip his face off as far as their perspective was, and you would see them go, oh my gosh, this isn't who I think I'm looking at, and then, oh my goodness, it's Mel Gibson underneath this. And that would elicit quite a big response. And that did not get old. We enjoyed that. That was a fun Halloween.
This just kept going.
A few times, not too much, but a couple
Do it a
times.
bunch. I'd like to see people's minds walk away. It's like, it's funny.
Mel,
You had
that's
a funny
amazing. I
story.
wish we could like reenact it right
You
now.
had a funny story, Mel, where you did it to a friend of yours who was like a stunt guy or something. Or...
Oh yeah, no, he was a friend of mine. He was a third down black belt. I was talking to him 1 minute. He turned away. I put it on. 2 seconds later, he turned back. He looked at me and he just went, "Ugh," and he punched me in the face, like really, he did really hard too. I hit the deck, but I was laughing so hard it was worth the hit. It was just like it was the best reaction I've ever seen.
All right. So those masks that he's talking about, those are like, you know, not cheap. Like maybe $30,000. I have no idea what they cost, but they're not cheap. So when you look at these people, the video that I made yesterday, again, the masquerade, you can go watch it. Again, the Jana Mendez, who was the head of the CIA costume like disguise. And they have actually, she has she and her husband, I think, have a museum called the Spy Museum in DC. I really want to go there. I want to take my son there. I think that'd be really fun. So, she was wearing a mask that, and it's in my other video. It's in my video called Enjoy the Show, which I'll put that link below as well. Go back and watch that one and you can see her talking about it. This mask she was wearing in front of the President Bush, and he had no idea she was wearing a mask. And that was, you know, decades ago. So they've gotten much more sophisticated. So those of you who say, oh, it's just a thyroid scar. No, you have to watch my other videos to see all the evidence, and then you'll see what we're talking about. Okay. So that is the mask thing I want to show you. Now we're going to show you, I'll share my screen and I will show you, here it is. Okay. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna show you now this really cool discoveries I've had recently. This is the fun stuff, in my opinion, and why I'm loving having followed this number 17. You know, if you look at the alphabet and you count the letters and you get to 17, why I love following all of this and have for the last few years. I think I started in 2018 because there's just so many cool things that you learn and that you see, and it's just awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at this other TikTok that I did, and I'll play this short TikTok about what is a belligerent occupation. And if you notice the flag that has no stars and it's just blue.
Belligerent occupation.
Okay, so this is the Department of Defense Law of War Manual. You can go look this up on Google.
Belligerent.
And it's sorry, it's chapter, it went too fast. It's chapter 11, which is in the Law of War Manual. And those of you who have been following 17 know that there are the 11.3 is mentioned. If you type it into the boards, 11.3, go read that Law of War Manual, and how we deal with a belligerent occupation. That's a specific phrase that's important because that's what happened. And you do have to wait a year, according to the Law of War Manual, which is an agreement between countries. This is not this is an agreement. I'm trying to fix the light, but whatever, you guys just have to deal with it. I'll record with my regular lights soon. This is an agreement between countries where there's war crimes and you can't do certain things when you're at war. Now, President Trump said, we are at war with a hidden enemy. He said that back in March of 2020. So it's true. We are at war. So what can we do in a case of occupation? Well, they have a whole year before where they have to state that they are occupying, which they didn't do. So now it's been a year and 9 months, and we now are in a position where we can use military force. We wouldn't have been able to do that if it had been less than a year. So a lot of people say, why do we have to wait? Well, that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons. Other reasons, the last thing you want is civil war. You don't want violence. You don't want people fighting. You want to save as many lives as possible. Okay. So we have a psychological operation going on, as I talked about earlier, the MK Ultra, the on a mass scale, this trauma-based programming. Okay, that's what's been happening, and until enough people can break the programming, break the spell, they're going to be fighting. So that's why we have to go through what we went through. It will be over soon. And it will be the military, which is what we were always told. We were always told that it would be the military. Okay. So let me share my screen again, and I'm going to show you a little bit more on this flag, which is so fascinating. Because that video I shared, I had seen that from someone else, and I made that TikTok. I didn't come up with it. Somebody else found that. I thought it was great. And then, so I'm going to share what somebody else said. And this gets into more with Melania's dresses. Is really cool. Okay, hold on. Let me. Yeah, okay.
There's discussion, is that the correct date, or was it 50 days later when a vote happened secretly on March 11th within various military commands, and that's when the vote was actually determined for sure that we had a foreign occupying force in place. 3/11 being the flip of 11/3, interestingly. Whichever case it is, at that moment, when one calendar year is passed, and technically not before, you can begin to use military personnel, equipment, anything you need to try to recapture the flag, recapture your territory against this foreign occupying army that's hidden in plain sight, if you will. If you'd used it before one calendar year, you could be brought up on criminal charges for violating internationally accepted norms, and you would be then a war criminal. But after that one calendar year, you can begin to organize troops, organize machinery, use the equipment to fight back, to retake control of your country, and you will not be subject to international tribunals for violating the posse comitatus. You won't be tried as a war criminal. It's interesting, I've said all along that President Trump, from the very beginning, has used the language of semaphore or flags to communicate to everybody right in plain sight. And the flag staff has been, during his presidency, Melania. The dresses she wore communicated certain messages. So the first dress that she wore was Tiffany blue, reminiscent of the Kennedys. From the inauguration to the White House, they walked, and she, wearing the Tiffany blue dress, the announcement to the world was that which was taken from us with the assassination of President Kennedy is now going to be restored to us. We're here to take back that future that was stolen from us. If the first flag was important and she was the flag staff, I've also said, wouldn't the last flag have also been important? So when they left the White House on January 20th, President Trump had not conceded the election. They left and did not remain to attend the inauguration. He flew home on Air Force One. They left the White House. Melania was wearing a black dress. Black is end of message. There is no message further on this. Begin new message. So when she got off the plane, she was wearing this dress. Now, my book went to print July of 2020 and became available to the public October 1st of 2020, just before the election. What was in my first book on every page was an orange cube. And that...
Okay, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more and get into the oranges and the cube. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about the flag first, and then I'll go back to this.
That cube was important because the theme of the book, which is on page 71, is election 2020 will equal mega to the third power over corn. 3 is cubed. So when you see that on every page of my book, that was the message. So it was interesting. 4 months after the book was out to the public, 6 months after it went to press, then the orange cubes was the last message that President Trump sent to the world as the ship of state sailed off into the dark night in the storm. And it's dark to light on the dress with orange cubes. And by the way, the blue, when you look at those are cubes also. So it's hidden cubes right there in plain sight. Now, President Trump is still using the language of semaphore, even now with the language of flag. So here in this presentation, over the weekend, as he is walking onto and off the stage, here's the American flag vertically with the field of the stars blacked out.
All right, Juan, let me bring. All right, there. Go ahead, Juan, talk to us. I'm showing a deck now. Can you see it?
Yes. And as you can see, those stars, it's a quilting over the stars. It's not stars like, sewn in black stars like that. It's just a quilting. It's intended to show that there are no stars. That field is blank. It means we are in occupied territory, and it includes all the 50 states. Has a military message. The other part of the message is any enemy forces that are occupying at this point in time who are undeclared belligerents, a very precise term, belligerents, working for foreign forces. Literally, we take no prisoners. They can be killed on site, or we're not taking them into custody and holding them. Because when you have a small force of military, and if you're under military rules, Geneva Convention, law, or manual, if you have the obligation of taking prisoners and holding and keeping them safe, you may not be able to, by your numbers or your location, to safely do that. In this particular case, the option is available to those in the field that they can literally not take prisoners of this type, say spies or something like that. They can be killed on site because of the circumstances. The option for the foreign forces is to immediately surrender. We've flown the flag, declare yourself, surrender, or you are fair game. It's a wartime condition. So the language of semaphore continues to be there. Now, one other thing I want to mention, James, I sent that to you also. President Trump, all along, you'll see that he uses hand signs. Most people never catch this, but his hand sign, each one of these hand signs has a particular meaning. If you watch his speeches, it's astonishing. He is using, all of his brain all of his mind, because he's communicating at the same time what he's saying during his speech, which he goes on for 2.5 hours.
Pause. So we'll get to the cubes in a second, but just to talk about this real quick, there's something called NLP and neuro-linguistic programming, and that's what they use on us all the time. And they also communicate to each other. I'm talking about the narcissistic psychopaths. They communicate to each other with hand signs, and they also put us under a spell with the way that they use their hand signs. So he's breaking the spell with this neurolinguistic programming. Now, you know who taught a lot of this was Anthony Robbins back in the day. If you go read his books or watch his videos or do his conferences, he's amazing. And he's really helped a lot of people. But he's one of the people that understand how hand signs really work. You know, if you're training a dog, you know, dogs, you get to a point where you can just do this with a dog and they will sit down. You don't even have to say sit. You just go like this. People are very impacted by hand signs. And that's why video is so powerful. And those of you who are in my online course, online marketing simplified, which I will be getting back to that soon. I'm going to be, anybody who signs up for that course, it's very cheap right now. It's like not going to be this cheap forever, but it's because I can't always be putting classes out. But anybody who's signed up in these early years is going to have lifetime membership to that, because, you know, it'll be growing as we go forward. And there's never been an opportunity before like we have now, where being able to make money online. So if you're interested in that, it's on my website at the top. There's links to it. But, you know, that's why video is the most powerful, because you can connect with your audience members, people that are following you on so many different levels when you're communicating with voice and gestures. All this is impactful, right? So anyway, that's a longer conversation, but I wanted to say that he is helping us wake up out of the programming using these hand signs, and it's really cool. All right, hold on, go back
on these speeches. Yep. And his ability to convey a message with precision is out of this world. As a speaker, you know, you have to amazement at his capabilities. There's lots of people that want to give all sorts of BS about, you know, Trump being simplistic or something like that. You have never seen a president, and very, very rarely any public speaker, that has the ability to present with the consistent message that long without being repetitive and putting real meat on.
Okay. Is there anything else I wanted to show here? I don't think so. You can go back and watch this whole thing. It is, I'll put the link below. Make a note. Give no quarter. Okay. All right. So let's move on to let's talk about the Melania's dress. So he talked about it. He talked about the dress on his cover of his book, and the orange cubes, right? So and then I'm going to wrap this up. So the orange cubes, my dog is starting to whine. It's time to finish this video. This is what I thought of with the cubes, was the blockchain. So I'll put my McAfee video about the blockchain in the show notes, but take a look at that. take a look at the blockchain. If Melania's dress is letting people know about the blockchain, that would make a lot of sense to me, because I think that's where we're going with that. Instead of a great reset to their digital currency, I think we're going to the blockchain. And then you've got to go watch my McAfee video and really understand what the blockchain does. First of all, for any kind of, when we vote, they're going to be able to do it with the blockchain. And it's completely secure, completely secure. Secondly, money, currency on the blockchain is really like the modern day gold standard. Like I talked about the other day when I did my Road to Ruta video, I'll put that below. Road to Ruta, that's how you spell it. Go watch that video and learn about the digital currency and why I do believe that's the future. Okay, so that's the blockchain. This is the orange. Now wait, there's more. This is Bitcoin. It's orange. And this totally connected for me just this morning, because when I had learned about oranges and the Prussians. So let's get into it. Oranges, this has always been the orange symbol for Bitcoin. And now I understand. Okay, this was brought up actually on the James Grunvig show, which if you guys don't watch American Media Periscope, I watch it almost every day. I watch every day. I watch every episode. I try to see every episode because they've got so much good stuff on there. So this is Donald Trump asked reporters to look into the oranges of the Mueller investigation.
Wonderful place in Germany, and so I have a great feeling for Germany.
So the first thing he said was that he said, you can look this up, he said multiple times that his father was born in Germany. He's talking all about Germany, and then he talks about the oranges instead of the origins of the Mueller investigation. This was 2019. This was all over the news. This is again one of those little mistakes that he made, right? So watch. His grandfather was from Bavaria. He's saying his father was born in New York. So he made that little gaffe. Okay, next, turning to the Mueller probe, he struggled with the word origins.
I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings of that investigation. You will all get Pulitzer Prizes, okay? You're going to all get Pulitzer Prizes. You should have looked at it a long time ago. And that's the only thing that's disappointing to me about the Mueller report. The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges, how it started.
Oranges. Okay. Guys, go to this Substack, PrussiaGate.substack.com. Again, I got this from James Grunvig's show. He had a guest on talking about this. I forget his name, but he's the guy who started this conference called Threadgate. If you type that in, you'll find the guy that started it, and he's the one that was talking about PrussiaGate. So I'm going to read this I'm going to binge read this entire Substack. I wish there was a way to get these on audio. I wonder if I could get it to read it to me. I might be able to. There's a way to get your phone to do that, I think. Check this out. So go to the summary. So this is all about the origins of Prussia. This is the CABAL. I don't know if I can say that word. This is who they are. This is their blood line. Goes all the way back. Now here's a good one that just came out 5 hours ago. Oh boy, you know who that is. You know who that is? Picture there. I don't know how to find it, but this guy, Jimmy Savile. So that's going to get into the Royals. So this looks really, really good. All right, so but if you go back to the first post here, all the way back to the summary, an invisible hand, which Trump talked about, the invisible enemy, sits behind humanity, exerting control over the human will. This hidden virus scours the earth. Didn't Trump call it a scourge? Looking for hosts who will adopt its ideology and wage war against dissenters. You cannot leave a captivity that you cannot see. Prussian ideology is this captivity. The awakening is seeing this invisible enemy, knowing its patterns, recognizing how we engage with it, and understanding its ultimate end game. Revealing the hidden enemy is how humanity defeats the enemy. Understanding the ancient Prussian playbook shines unwanted light upon this tyrannical insurgent. This is the road to true freedom. This is PrussiaGate. So, I need to read this whole thing. I'm so excited about this Substack. But I want to point out what he says here. The oranges of the investigation. My father was born in a beautiful part of Germany. We were attacked before, like never before, not since 1917. 1917, the great pandemic, as they say, which some say did not end until the end of 1945. The soldiers were too sick to fight. Everything had meaning. Was the great pandemic a weapon born out of Prussia and psychological in its delivery? Okay. The oranges. So who was the oranges? Is I don't know if he gets into who they are, but you can pull it up on Wikipedia. I haven't read his whole Substack yet. Yeah, here it is. I did read this part. The House of Orange. The Great Kaiser of Germany. So he traces this all back to the House of Orange. Really interesting. So I wonder if that's why they made it orange. To take over, right? Really interesting. And we've got the blockchain, like the dress. Okay, so highly recommend this. I will be, I'm sure, talking more about this as I dig into it. So that's it for today. I will be posting a video tomorrow all about health. So if you guys are struggling with your health, please come back and watch. Make sure you subscribe, and thank you for following me. And I'll put my link below too to all the different ways that you can follow me, and I'll see you tomorrow.